Feast, and I'm here interviewing Monique Collins, a story about her mother and her experiences in the Holocaust.
Katie had asked me to talk about my mom, and my mother was hidden away when she was a small child in Holland. She was in two different hiding places. The second one is the one I know the most about. And that is because we're still good friends with the people who hid them away. She was hidden away in a fishing village. It was called Bunschoten or Spakenburg, and they did wear costumes back then, and she did have to wear the costume so that the Germans thought that she was part of the family.
Yeah.
And she wore the costume. She had to wear a cross and go to Catholic school and go to school with them, and she had to try to blend in as much as she could.
And I remember you said in the story something about how the Germans came to where she was hiding at some point and
They did.
questioned them.
They did, and they had to basically hide behind a wall. We saw it a few years ago where she was actually kind of like Anne Frank, hiding behind a wall, and there were beds behind the wall, and they had to hide them from Germans.
So when the war was over, did she go back to her normal life at all, or what kind of happened?
She did. It wasn't very normal though,
Yeah.
because she had lost her father during the war. And my grandmother had a fabric store. I'm not sure if the store was still there, how exactly they got back to somewhat of a normal life, to start living all over again. She was hidden just with her mother. So, and I believe the family that they were with, there was an underground, and someone found this family that was willing to risk their lives to hide them away. And it was an older couple. They had 8 kids, and they were all blonde and fair skin. And my mother, as you could tell from some of the pictures, was dark hair, dark eyes, and dark skin. But she somehow survived. But they did risk their lives of the entire family to hide my mother and my grandmother away. So we went back a year ago or 2 years ago, and that was to honor the family that hid my mother and grandmother away. So, I mean, we are still in touch with these people that we Facebook with them. They come to visit us, we go to visit them, and it all because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. I'm not sure exactly, but she was probably there about 2 years.
At what age?
About 5, I think she was there, 4 or 5 years old. And
She was really young.
She was.
Well, like when the war was over, how that all kind of wrapped up or anything?
The only thing I remember my mother telling me was when it was over, she remembered the soldiers in the street, telling everybody to come out, the war's over, and, it was,
Yeah.
crazy. But she also told me, there were times when she was in hiding where they were shooting right on the streets, and the Germans were coming, through the streets.
Yeah, I read something about how the school across the street was bombed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And did her parents tell her exactly what was happening? Do you know if they tried to?
I
guess
don't think they knew exactly what was happening, and like I said, her father wasn't even there, so she knew. It's hard for me to say that she knew because she was so young. I can't imagine. No, well, her mother survived. She was an only child, my mother. So her immediate family, her father, they never found out where he was, where he died, what happened, which is something she had to live with her whole life, because a lot of Jewish people that were Holocaust survivors found their brother, sister, parent 20 years later. Like, you had no idea they were still living. But she did lose aunts and uncles, and my father had lost his sister but his parents and his brother survived. She was in Amsterdam, Holland, and like I said, she had been hidden away one place first, and then those people, I don't know if they felt they couldn't keep them anymore or the Germans had come, but then this family and the underground helped them find this other family.
Thank you for taking the time to come and talk to me and share the story, and I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, and thank you for doing this and presenting this to your school, because it's something we don't want people to forget. It did happen.